Afternoon everybody, and today's video is going to be about time wasters. Time wasters. Usually I can suss time wasters out. We predominantly do work for residential homeowners, and one of the reasons why I do work for just private customers, residential homeowners, is because one payment and then to us. There's no in between people, and you tend not to get messed about. It's just one agreement between us and customer. It makes life simple. There's lots of private houses to sort out and maintain, and it's usually quite straightforward. I had a text. I don't know what it were on. Either a text or a Facebook message off a guy today. Can you come and give us a prize for damp proofing? We'd finished his job early today, and we were just we got a bit of spare time. So in fact, we were having a coffee when he sent it through. This text, and I went, can you send us some basically I said, can you send us some pictures and a brief description of what problem is? And it were quite sparse with his text messaging, which is not usually a sign. Do you know what I mean? If they're a bit they can't describe it properly, it rings alarm bells with me if they won't put any pictures on. And I only thought it was round corner. See, there's two. I'm not going to say a name at property, but there used to be a school in Barnsley, and Terrace were called same, and I just assumed it was round corner. And then when I got in car, sort of 10 minutes before to leave to go up there, I realised it was Wakefield area. So I set off up there, and I just assumed it was somebody's house, a private homeowner. And as I'm driving up, sort of phone were ringing. I can't answer it while I'm driving, so I left it. And then when we get up there, there's a railway line, and it's split, and postcode what same both sides of the railway track. So I'm trying to find it. Goes up this road, and it's there's just no parking on it at all. It's a nightmare to park. Anyway, so I parked up, and I rung guy, and he mentioned something about estate agent, which is bane of my life. And as soon as he said estate agent, I was like, it echoes up on back at neck. And I thought, he's either an estate agent or there's something not right here. So I walked back up. There was a woman washing her car, so I spoke to her, and I says, "Are you own her house?" She says, "No." She says, "But there's been two people here, one in a suit, obviously an estate agent, and another guy." She overheard him saying, "Well, for what you've got it for, and whatever," and it was supposed to be all damp inside. I rung guy up, and he was like, trying to get me off the phone as quick. Oh, it don't matter. I was supposed to meet you there, and I've just put two and two together. So obviously, estate agent's got keys. He's made an offer on it. I don't know whether it's gone through, but he's trying to get me to give him a price, tell him what damp is. I mean, that's what we do damp and timber reports for, and we charge for them. Pre-purchase damp and timber reports will tell you what's wrong with the house. And some people do try and get away with it, and they try and say, you know, come out and give us a price and you will get the work. Yeah, you know what I mean. And it's bollocks. So you know what I mean. They want 8 quotes and they go with cheapest. So especially if they're going to be renting them out, they'll go with cheapest quote. Investors, investors. They go with cheapest quote. They get it done as shabbily as possible, and they're going to rent it out, so they're not bothered what they're doing in future. I've had lots of people ring me up, especially this year, and all they want is the cheapest work possible, and they've got some kind of idea in their mind that that if we do it at the cheapest price, that it's going to be a just above standard job. Well, we don't do that. We'll do a job and we guarantee it for 10 years. And it's same job whether it's a 40 grand house or whether it's a £1 million job house. We do exactly the same standard. And prices match our standards. So you're going to get a job that's a professional job. We don't do like half a job. We don't do just enough so it stays stays dry for just inside 10-year guarantee period or 20-year guarantee period. We do it to our standards and our professional standards. So that's why we keep away from estate agents who, majority of them, 90% of them, they want to get that sale through. So they'll go and get the free surveys so that, well, they know that a free survey is not going to be as thorough as what we do when we're charging for them, and we pick up everything and we'll put it in report. So if there's problems, there's going to be more things that can hold the sale up. Ergo, estate agents, especially around where I live, they use unqualified pamphlet writing, 3-page report. It's a report. I keep doing this all the time, and I hate it. I keep doing it because it might annoy people if I keep doing it. So report, pamphlet, but that's what they put on thing. They put on that it's a report, and it's not. It's 3-page with a writing that might say damp on it. You might say damp lines. So it's like ed teachers tell them to write lines. So you just fill 3 pages up with nonsense. And rising damp roting. So that's what basically you're getting when you're getting your free surveys from unqualified people that have damp proof or rot on the van. And majority of homeowners, lay people who don't know, they trust these estate agents. And as I'm saying, estate agent, all them ones that, and you are, it's just flashing up in my mind. You know what I mean? I can see them all over Barnsley, and they've all used me at one time or another. And because we're professional and because we're thorough, it holds up the sales, and they assume that their customers won't pay for a proper professional survey, so they assume it and they go and get the free ones. If you want that survey done and you want it to be thorough and you want to know what you're going to be buying in future, you know what's going to happen in next 1 to 5 years, whether you're going to be paying out thousands and thousands of pounds when that rising damp, penetrating damp woodworm comes out, then make sure you say to your estate agent, who is probably unqualified as well. You don't have to be qualified to be a estate agent. Last time I looked, I think they were the guy at Wilby's, the only one that had professional qualified papers, and he's the only one that does valuations without just looking on Google and looking at what types of houses is similar, which is another. That's another. That's another thing I can rant over. So, apparently nowadays, part of the system is, and it goes for all these valuation surveys. I mean, these are qualified RICS surveyors, and all they have to do to value a house is look at what they've been sold at on street rather than what the actually, square footage or whatever. They just look what's been sold similar, and that's what your house is valued at. And it's chuffing wrong. It's just wrong. They should be valued properly. And at some point in future, all this might be, people might go back and you might have claims. So there might be money saving expert, like in sort of 10-15 years time, people might be claiming because these RICS surveyors, who are probably insured, have been valuing properties just by looking on internet and seeing what other properties are valued at. Now, there's a big thing now with council tax, and that people are getting money back because they were valued wrong, and they were valued by just people driving past them and going, yeah, that's same as that, that one's same as that, so that's in that band, that's in that band. And this is what they're doing with house valuations. It's a similar thing. Even though they might be going into house, all they're doing is going back, looking on the computers and going, what has it been sold for? Because if you ever appeal it, if you ever say that's wrong, then what they tell you to do is look back over the last 3 months and find 3 properties or 6 properties, it might be, that's similar, that's been sold for the price that you think your house is at. And even if you get that, because I mean I've been there, so even if you get them 3 properties, they still refuse it. So so in 10-15 years time, this all might come out again. But anyway, so my main point is about time wasters. So time wasters for us professionals and a lot of people that's in PCA, and we all have the same idea, and we all talk about it, and we're all in the same boat. It happens to us all. So I mean, I think there's only one estate agent, letting agent in Barnsley that I sort of get on with and have a good relationship with. And he knows who he is, so I don't have to mention his name. And he's a genuine lad. But all others, I'm afraid, and I ain't met them all, but ones that I've come in contact with, and you all know who you are, and you just, like I said, they think that they've got their customers' best interests at heart by getting these fly-by-nights, unqualified people to do them a pamphlet of a report, and as long as it's got that magical figure on that they can, which is the quote, what they call a quote, as long as it's got that magical figure, then they can go to the buyer and say, this is how much the work's going to cost, and you know, this is what work's got to be done. And it is gospel, you know what I mean? That is what they've said, and he's, you know, we've worked with him for years, and that's what he said, £2,500. And they go to seller and they say, yeah, look, this is how much it's going to cost, and they come to an arrangement, and it gets knocked off at fee, and then seller goes and gets it done cheaper, so he goes to someone even cheaper, and then they end up in that circle where at some point they end up coming to us and they're saying, can you sort this out? We've had it done 4 times, can you come and sort it out once and for all? But if they'd have had that survey done in the first place, they might not have even been going down that road anyway. So yeah, so I've just wasted my time, and that's top and bottom of it. So I can normally smell them, I can normally fish them out, and that's why we have a system. And that's why if you get in contact with me, I'll say to you, can you send these pictures, and can you give me a description of what it is? And from that description, from them pictures, I can normally 9 times out of 10, I can say what it is and what survey you want, and from that we can say to you, you need this survey or that. So it's either going to be a paid survey, paid condensation survey, or a free survey. And I can get a feel for it. I know what to take, what equipment to take. And that is better value for the customer. So that's just my little rant for, what day are we on? Thursday, it's Friday tomorrow. Yeah, weekend. So one more day to go, and you can relax. Everybody can relax unless you're on shifts. So, just a quick mention. Today I went into town and I went and bought some nuts from Holland and Barrett. Other natural food herbalists and places are on the market, and you can go there, but Holland and Barrett are nice, so we always like to get some nuts. So as I'm coming back up to parking place up at Costa. I dropped on Lee, that lad who Front Boys Club, lovely kid, and he used to go to the gym down at Kiel when I went to Kiel, House of Gain, brilliant gym. And they've done it out, so if you want to go down there and if you want to just boxing, go down to Kiel to House of Gain, second to none. So I used to go down there years and years ago, and Lee used to go down. He used to be a big strapping lad, worked at Reddy's. I said, you know, are you still working at Reddy's? No, he says, I've more or less done. Turns out he's got right, I might have to look. I've gone completely blank. Right, Asperger. It's gone. It's a mould. It's not Aspergilla niger. Aspergilla, I think it is. Aspergilla. Now there's about 200 different types of Aspergilla. There's about 200 different types. And most common ones Aspergilla niger, and that's normally black mold that you get, black spot mold, and completely harmless. But there's certain types that that can harm you. And they're very rare. It's very rare to get, but because I've just had to look all symptoms up now. Turns out he's got that, and he's got it from his work environment. When they used to clean these trays and stuff, they used to all be mouldy and stuff. And he's ended up putting 2 and 2 together. He's gone through. He's had to have what would it now? He had to have a biopsy. So they've gone in through his thing into his lungs, and it turns out that he's got this Aspergilla. I'm gonna have to look that up again. Like, so it's gone. So he's got this Aspergilla mold thing on his lungs, and it can be very dangerous if it spreads to other organs and things like that. Can be treated, because I've just looked it up, and there's different side effects. And more I think about it, more I might have got it. Legions and shortness of breath and coughing, get green and up and stuff like that. So and I work with it all the time. So and we have masks on and we have all PPE and everything. But it's a very rare form that he's got, and it's rare to get it. The doctor that he was treating him said he's only known one case before, which were 18 years ago. And Lee says to him, "What happened to him?" And the doctor just laughed. But you know, so. And he was in good spirits. Poor lad. And he's having all these tests and still having tests, still off work, and he's having these treatments. But with winter, when your immune system's down, it can affect people that's got underlying conditions, and that's what they say. So if you've got AIDS, which is like an immune. Affects your immune system. What other one now? A few things that way you cough up greeners all the time. I'm trying to think of what they call it. So a lot of deliberate. I can't talk today. Wound me up that much that bell end up there. So it's people with underlying conditions. So when your immune systems are low, you're more at risk. And then you've got to be in right environment, moulds and things like that. And it's not a scare story. Most moulds that's in properties are not life-threatening. They will make you react though. And mould there's millions and millions of mould in air, even on a clean day. It's just that conditions have got to be right. Environment's got to be right for them to start multiplying, and when there's a lot of humidity in a house and lack of ventilation, things like that, that's when they start appearing. So if they're not treated, and they get bigger and bigger, and that's when you get different types of moulds. There's some light moulds which will grow up top, at high places. There's some heavier moulds which will only grow at bottom. There's white moulds, green moulds, yellow moulds, black moulds, and that could be a song. some white moulds, black moulds, but green moulds keep moving. Red moulds, anyway, so it could have been a song. So you've got them. So yeah, but so Lee's fating it at all. He's the first person that I've ever met that's got Aspergilla. Aspergilla, I've got it. Yeah, Aspergilla. Aspergillitis, I think. Aspergill, something. So it's Aspergilla, and that's what he's got. Got the end. So he's got Aspergilla, and Aspergilla niger is most common black mold. But there's hundreds of thousands, even millions of different types of mold, and there's only one that's like sort of that's life threatening. Or my studies they've told us there's only one, and that could be one that he's got, but we don't know. So he's having tests. But I mean, I could have talked to him all day. I'm really interested because I've never met anybody that's ever been ill from it, and guys that's done talks and things like that from what we've had at PCA. None of them's ever. What we got told what. Nobody has ever had, on the death certificate, mould, died from inhaling mould. But I suppose they're not going to do it. It's like out, isn't it? So the mould might set off other conditions, and then things start shutting down. So your organs start shutting down. So that's probably your main cause of death. But it can trigger it, but it's not the actual cause of death. And that's what they said, that nobody's ever read that wrote on a death certificate, and a doctor won't put that on a death certificate. So so it's very, very rare anyway. That's what I'm trying to say. So I'm gonna have to shoot back home because I've just made this video and it's just took 20 minutes and I'm still sat on the road. So don't have nightmares about black mold, and I'll see you on next video. So that's Damp Sam. Please subscribe. If you're that bellend that's just tried wasting my time, don't subscribe, and an estate agent, no, you don't subscribe either. So don't have nightmares and have a good rest of your day. And it's nearly weekend, so you know, win-win, isn't it? See ya.